Now let's review our story map from yesterday before we pick up where we left off. All right, so we said the setting of our story was a big city. It's actually Boston, and not the Boston that we know around here. It's a Boston way up north, and it's a very, very big city that's up north if you've ever been to Atlanta. It's kind of like big buildings like that, okay? The characters of our story, we said, were Mr. Mallard and Mrs. Mallard, the mommy and daddy duck. Then we talked about a problem that they had, that they were looking for somewhere to build a nest for their baby ducklings. So let's see and find out if they have a solution to this problem and if any more problems come up. Then they flew over the Charles River. "This is better," quacked Mr. Mallard. "That island looks like a nice quiet place, and it's only a little way from the public garden." "Yes," said Mrs. Mallard, remembering the peanuts. "That looks like just the right place to hatch ducklings." After Mrs. Mallard had laid 8 eggs in the nest, she couldn't go to visit Michael anymore because she had to sit on the eggs to keep them warm. She moved off the nest only to get a drink of water, or to have her lunch, or to count the eggs and make sure they were all there. Do you think that Mrs. Mallard gets tired of sitting on the eggs? It's a lot of work, isn't it? One day the ducklings hatched out. First came Jack, then Cack, then Lack, then Mack, and Knack, and Whack, and Pack, and Quack. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were busting with pride. It was a great responsibility taking care of so many ducklings, and it kept them very busy. What do you notice about all the baby ducklings' names? They all rhyme, don't they? And if you look, Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack, they all go in order. They all start with a letter of the alphabet and go down. They start with J and go down. So what do you think they might call the next baby? Something that rhymes. And what letter comes after Q? L-M-N-O-P-Q-R. So rack, rack. One day, Mr. Mallard decided he'd like to take a trip to see what the rest of the river was like further on. So off he set. "I'll meet you in a week in the public garden," he quacked over his shoulder. "Take good care of the ducklings." "Don't you worry," said Mrs. Mallard. "I know all about bringing up children." And she did. Why do you think that Mr. Mallard is going on a trip? I don't know, maybe he just wants to see if there's another place they might want to live, or just to check out around where they live, maybe to take a break. I don't know. What do you think he's going to see? If he's going up the river, who knows? He could see more land, maybe more of the city, since it's a big city. She taught them how to swim and dive. Do you think it's hard to teach baby ducks to swim? It might be kind of tricky at first, kind of like a baby person learning to walk. But all these little ducklings look like they have it down, don't they? She taught them to walk in a line, to come when they were called, and to keep a safe distance from bikes and scooters and other things with wheels. When at last she felt perfectly satisfied with them, she said one morning, "Come along, children, follow me." Before you could wink an eyelash, Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack fell into line, just as they had been taught. Mrs. Mallard led the way into the water, and they swam behind her to the opposite bank. How do you think that Mrs. Mallard feels about her ducklings? She probably feels proud of all the things that they've learned. She definitely loves them because she takes care of them, right? There they waded ashore and waddled along till they came to the highway. Do you think that Mrs. Mallard should take her baby ducklings near cars? I don't think so. Cars are big and baby ducklings are so small. Mrs. Mallard stepped out to cross the road. Honk, honk, went the horns and the speeding cars. Quack, went Mrs. Mallard as she tumbled back again. Quack, 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 went Jack, Knack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack, just as loud as their little quackers could quack. The cars kept speeding by and honking, and Mrs. Mallard and the ducklings kept right on quack, quack, quacking. How do you think that the baby ducks feel about the cars? Well, they probably feel a little bit nervous because the cars are so big, but look at the way that they look like they're copying their mom who's angry at the cars. Maybe they're feeling a little angry at the cars too. All right, we're gonna stop right here, and I want you to think. Do you think that the baby ducks are gonna be able to get across the street? Let's spend some time making a prediction. When we predict, we think about what we know and we try to figure out what's going to happen next. So we know that Mrs. Mallard wants to get her babies across the street, but we also know how dangerous cars can be for little tiny baby ducklings. So think about it for a minute. Now I want you to say, I think blank because blank. Okay, say it out loud. We'll find out tomorrow. Alright, so I know that we're not done with our story yet, but I think we can still add to our story map to make sure that we can review all of this tomorrow when we go to read the end of the story. Okay, so the setting is still the same, right? They're still in the big city. It's still the same characters. Now they have some little baby ducklings. We could draw a little baby duckling to remind us that they've had their babies now, right? We have 8 of them, so I'm going to draw the number 8 on top because I cannot draw 8 ducks. Little baby ducklings. Okay, so they have 8 baby ducklings and then the daddy and the mama duck. Okay, so now let's look at their problem. Now the first problem we talked about yesterday was that they were looking for a place to build a nest. Did they find that? They did. So they did have one solution to that. They found an island in a river. So let's draw a little island right here. Okay, and then I'm going to number this. This is problem number 1, and that's the solution to number 1. Now they have another problem. What is it? They're about to walk into traffic. They're trying to get across the road. So I'm going to draw a number 2. And I'm going to draw a picture of the road. Now, have they solved this problem yet? No. When we left off, they were on the side of the road fussing at the cars, right? The mama and all the babies. So let's see tomorrow if we can figure out if they come up with a solution to this problem.